Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to the channel. I am Amalgam Ash, and today I want to unbox and try out a new microphone. I'm excited to do this because this is what I hope to be one of the last microphones I'll ever buy until I really hit the big time, and I don't have a reason to believe I'll need a different one anyway. Currently, for anybody wondering, I have made the possibly questionable choice of choosing the Yeti X World of Warcraft edition microphone. I picked it up because it has 4 polar patterns. That's really it. The HyperX Quadcast is now available at your local Walmart. They got rid of their J-Talk Go series microphones. Those were $50 microphones with 2 polar patterns, and they are now in the clearance aisle for $15. So I don't know if your Walmart has that, but mine sure as heck does. I decided to go out and purchase what I hope to be one of the final microphones that I'll ever want to get. But I heard this microphone on Alpha Gaming's channel and really liked how it sounded. Plus, it is a dynamic USB microphone, and that was something I thought was very cool as well. So, time for something a little bit different. This is the BEACN. This is a massive box. They shipped this to me, FedEx, and I felt like I had to wait forever to get it, but it's here. So, we're going to dig into the box and look at the features, take a quick glance through any documentation, and we'll plug it in and try it out. For those wondering, my camera is still, as it always has been, the Samsung Galaxy Note 10 Plus. That's not likely to change anytime soon. The box is pretty. We're not here for the box, though. So what's in this box? Very simple. We have 2 layers. The top layer has the USB-C cable included, of course. An audio extension cable, just in case you need it. It's not a necessity. And the USB-C to USB-A. And the USB-C to USB-A adapter. Also, only if you need it. We've got a card with some instructions telling you to just simply plug the USB-C into the back of the BEACN mic, plug the other end into your computer, and visit beacn.com/mic/get started to download the BEACN app and learn more about your BEACN mic. I do plan on doing that because the software that this microphone is associated with is very interesting to me. And we've got lunch for later. And the BEACN. It's heavy. It is the heaviest microphone I've held so far. It's got our 5/8 screw, and probably not expected to take this off, but we have our bit that screws into the side to hold the microphone in your preferred mount or arm of choice at the sides. The bottom does not come with any sort of threaded mounting screw, anything like that. We've just got our headphone port and our USB-C, and this is a condenser mic. There are no selectable polar patterns. There's no gain adjustment on the microphone. We've got our pop filter included, embedded, and we have our LED light all around the side. Size comparison between the BEACN and the Blue Yeti World of Warcraft edition. Everything you need to connect this microphone will be here. This is how you'll get this microphone connected to your stand or boom arm of choice. Okay, I'm back. Bit of an ordeal. I had to find my microphone in Action 4K, which should not have been a problem at all. Just click on the box and select the BEACN microphone. The problem was the BEACN adds many input sources, and everything has a label like speakers or headphones or microphone, and then BEACN is in parenthesis, and I had to scroll down. I didn't realize I had to scroll down to see the additional options because there were now so many options before I could find BEACN microphone. Anyway, very small issue, not a big deal at all. Here I am. I have downloaded the BEACN app, and I'm looking at the interface right now, and you're hearing how my voice is being processed in real time. I'm not going to add any filtering or anything in Adobe Premiere Pro, but what we have, this is what you enter in on. Actually, no, it's not. This is what you enter in on. It's just an EQ visualization, and it's very simple. You have a red dot, a blue dot, and a yellow dot, and each one is under a set frequency. We have the red dot that's somewhere below 100 hertz, the blue dot which is somewhere below 500 hertz, and the yellow below 2000 hertz. The frequencies are the range of sounds, low to high. Lower sounds like your voice when it's really low are going to push more into the lower frequencies, many of them, and higher sounds such as the constant hiss that you may hear right now are going to affect the higher frequencies. If I'm perfectly quiet, then that moving waveform that you see on the upper part of the screen is all of the sound being picked up in my room. It's just ambient noise. So this line here represents gain, boosts, and bucking down. So we're going to take this red one, and we can't move them side to side, but we can definitely adjust the influence that the gain has. We bring this down to about 6 decibels. That means my low frequencies here gradually, till they hit this dot, and then gradually coming back up, are going to be about half the volume of the other frequencies. And if I raise it 6 decibels, you can hear the bass boost in my voice because I have a bit of lower frequency to my voice. This center dot, we can pull it up to pull up all of the mid-range frequencies, or we can lower it. And the yellow dot, we can pull it up to raise the high frequencies, and then you can really hear all of the hissing and humming and the s-ing and just the spit in my mouth. Gross. We're going to change that. We could lower it quite a bit, but now it sounds a bit muddy, and I don't want to do that. So we're going to do something really cool. We're going to, can I add a band? No. In simple mode, you cannot add a band. And you cannot change the type of band that it is. You can mess around with the 3 very simple presets. There's no EQ, there's low broadcast voice, which I could do kind of like this, but it does tend to raise the higher frequencies. So I would need to give this some noise cancellation, some noise suppression, which it's going to pick up everything, so that doesn't matter right now. And then the high broadcast voice, which would, I don't know, I think it sounds kind of neat as well, but I would probably try to go with the low. This one seems distracting, so it's kind of like headachy on my ears as well. Ugh. We can have our noise suppression expander compressor headphones and all of this, but we're going to stay in the mic setup tab for a second because we have to get this right before we can go into the plugins, the effects that come later. So we have mic gain, which is the one thing that I did mess with before turning my camera back on. I forgot to adjust it all the way back down. But essentially, I tend to speak a bit quieter in this big room, and I'm going to need some gain to my voice to help push this white line, which is the volume of my voice over time, into this blue area, the speaking area, without getting into the peak area. I don't speak loud enough to get into the peak area, but if I did, the microphone has so many anti-peak feature that so it's very, very anti-peak. It's got a built-in limiter, it seems, but it wouldn't be a big problem, and I should never actually hit that peak in such a way that it's going to be damaging. So this is all software that controls the firmware in the microphone, and that's a point that I wish I'd gotten to a lot sooner. The reason this is important is because all of this is taking place in the microphone body. It's not going to tax your processor at all during things like streaming. So you've got that little bit more bitrate or bandwidth that you can use for games. Watching Harris Heller's, that's Alpha Gaming's video on this, That means that you can play your games, and if you need to adjust any of the settings, any of the mixer settings, any of the EQ, any of the presets, it's not going to drop frames whatsoever. So it's really, really important for streamers. For me, I'm looking for a solution because my wow Blue Yeti microphone, as cool as it is, and perhaps I'm just not able to set it up correctly, it does not perform the way that I expected it to. It has a strange sort of warble whenever I'm speaking into it, and it doesn't seem to matter what the polar pattern is that I select. The polar patterns all pick up differently, and that's obvious when you select between them, but they all suffer from this strange warble effect. I don't know how to describe it, but if you've watched my videos for the last month, you may have heard it. Anytime I go quiet, the microphone's like, he's quiet, turn him down even further. And that's got nothing to do with my Adobe Premiere Effects. So anyway, with the advanced EQ switch turned on, we get labels for each of these frequency ranges, and we can't move them. They are what they are. These are generalized labels that are telling you sub-bass is pretty much in between the 50 hertz to 90 hertz range. Bass and muddiness is around here. Broadcast is between what looks like 350 and 450 hertz. The nasal is usually here. Low and mid-high and S's are usually here. Looks like mine are over here in the highs and air, but that's fine. We are going to change some of these. Now we want to add a band, so we're going to click that, add band, and now we have a band we can play with. And this band, we can move it around with our mouse, and it will dynamically adjust the gain, the output volume of a given range of frequencies. And it'll do it in real time. So this is what I sound like with my sub bass maxed out all the way. That's pretty cool. I like that. And this is with it taken completely out. So I think that would be considered a high pass, right? So we have different frequency types, or rather band types. These might be called shelf types. I'm not sure. But they all have names. This is a bell, and it's going to look like a bell curve whenever you move your band. This is a low shelf, and it's going to take everything to the left and influence it while not moving anything to the right. So if you're familiar with keyframes in Adobe Premiere, this is kind of like keyframes for your live audio. So I can add a low shelf and just wipe out all of my bass, or enhance all of my bass. Adding a high shelf to the very end would not make any sense, so we're not going to do that at all. And we have a low pass. There we go. This is something I'd be interested in, I think, but I'm going to need to find out where I want to put it, because I actually don't like removing all of the high frequencies. I just like removing some. This removes the frequencies entirely. It doesn't seem to matter where you put this on the vertical axis, just horizontally it gives you a shelf, and that's that. Then we have the notch, and the notch is cutting out a specific range. So this is going to be useful for, I can take out my nasal, I can take out whatever broadcast means, I can take out the bass and muddiness, so I can adjust this to try to figure out where that is. Again, doesn't matter where this goes in the vertical axis. Sub bass, and the lowest frequencies I can take out. That doesn't bother me too much. I kind of like that. Right around here is where that weird hiss is that I need to get rid of. And we can do a high shelf. Does the same thing as the low shelf, but in reverse. There we go. We'll just turn down everything. How about that? Not really what I want to do. And then we have the high pass. High pass filter, high pass filter, high pass filter, high pass filter. Low pass, high pass, low pass, high pass. Low pass. Boom, 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 boom. You hear the low pass and the high pass a lot in music. I don't know. I don't know. You shouldn't use this for noise suppression, though. Noise suppression is actually, it's got its own feature. I'm just kind of experimenting to see if I can find out where the noise frequency is, but this can do that automatically. So we can change the bass enhance, and we can turn that up as well. All the way up. There we go. I don't like that at all. We'll do like one bass enhance, and then we've got styles of bass enhance. Let's turn that all the way up and see what the difference is in styles. Here's style number 1. Put that at about a 6. Here's style number 2. Kind of like that one. Here's style number 3. Don't like that one. Here's style number 4. Style number 2 and 4 are the best. Style number 2, style number 4. Kind of like style number 4. Style number 2 is a little bit better, but, nope, 4 is better, I think, because of the reaction. That might have something to do with it. The exciter, don't know what this is. Oh, this makes those highs extremely active over there. I don't know why it does that. What is the exciter? Let's change the frequency. We can change it to 600 hertz. Then we can change it all the way up to 5,000 hertz. Let's go to the 600 hertz and keep it there, and increase the amount, lower the amount all the way down, increase the amount all the way up, and okay. That's weird. It just brings out the particularities of your voice as if you were very, very close by. I can speak fairly quietly into this microphone. That's very nice, and it just works. I just want to turn all that stuff off now. I don't want to keep that on there. Turn the bass boost off. Maybe 1. Don't need that exciter on there because it's just keeping the noise. All right, so noise suppression is number 2. Don't know what snapshot. Oh, I guess I could take a snapshot. Whoa. I hope that remains in post, in editing. Did you understand what just happened? All right, so we have a take snapshot button. After you click it, it asks you to be quiet. So I'm going to click it again, and I'm going to be quiet. There's a little 5-second timer on there. Let's watch it. And it's done. There's no more noise. Holy crap! There's no more noise. Oh my god. That's freaking amazing. My mind is blown right now. What if I go to adaptive? What does that do? Turn the sensitivity all the way up. I don't know if I like that. Turn it down. Turn it down. Turn it down. It really has the that last little bit down in lock, doesn't it? Turn the sensitivity up. Doesn't seem to make a difference. I guess because of that's the adaptive. That's without the snapshot. I'm going to click take snapshot again. I'm going to type while it's taking the snapshot, so I can see if I can't, by virtue of incident, simply take out the clacking of the keys. And now and now I think I can type stuff. It still picks it up really, really well, like insanely well. Not good. It's definitely, I think, a condenser pattern. So if this could be facing upwards at my face, I think it would be a non-issue. That's insane. I love that so much. I don't think I want to use the de-esser. I don't seem to have a problem with S's, really. Not with this microphone. The expander. Expand, expand, expand. I don't know how to mess with that in this setting. This is really helping me understand EQ though. So like this experience alone helps the value of this microphone for me. Let's go back to noise suppression. Take another snapshot. Okay. I like how that sounds a lot better. And expander, compressor, and headphones. I've got nothing else to do here. I'm ready, I think, to just go. I'd like to understand if whether it keeps all of the settings after I close this program. Compression, expansion, those are things I can control in Premiere until I figure out how to use them. I do have Harris Heller's video up now in another tab. I did. There it is. How to make your voice sound perfect with a BEACN microphone. But I didn't want to play this on my channel, even though I think he'd be totally cool with a reaction video. Don't know the guy. That's just my prediction. But I'll have to look at the expander, the new noise gate. I'll have to watch that, and I'll have to come back to, and the compressor. I'll actually watch those and get into those right now. All right, so I've learned how to use the expander. And again, the visualization helps me so much that I'll be able to have a visual in my mind if I need to adjust settings for somebody else or using software. If I don't have access to this microphone or its software, this will help me edit sound in Shotcut, but we'll turn that on to advanced. This makes sense now. This makes sense. So you want to speak as naturally as possible and see where this line goes. You want to see where the line actually goes. Your voice should never go below the line, and it shouldn't toe the line, so to speak. And if you're generally speaking louder, then that's fine. Looks like negative 70 decibels is where this expander takes effect. But if I decided that I was going to raise this up to, say, 50, then anytime I speak below 50, that's it. That's the warble effect that my microphone, my World of Warcraft microphone has. It's taking. Yep, that's it. It's taking my sound, and if the sound dips below a threshold, it is turning it down more. The expander is useful for things like if you've got, it's kind of like noise suppression, but it works on a different principle. Any sound that dips below a line, which noise suppression, that's not noise gate. Any sound that dips below a line, it'll just simply turn off your input. You won't hear it at all. And while that's fine, whenever you speak above that line, the noise comes with it. So you're quiet, and then when you speak, you hear that in the background, for lack of a better word. I do speak Old God. And then the expander doesn't do that. When it dips below that threshold, instead of turning your microphone off, it simply lowers the volume further. I once asked on the Shotcut forums how I could get the noise gate to actually work. It didn't seem like it was working at all. And that's because I needed to use an expander. The amount that it will lower the volume further depends on your ratio. So with a 2-to-1 ratio, for every decibel that is below that threshold, the expander will lower the volume of it by another decibel. Or is that how it works? I think that's how it works. It will lower it by 2. So if I speak at 69 decibels, then it will lower the volume of that to 62. 60, I think it's a ratio from the start point of the threshold. Let me check. Yeah, okay, so the threshold is the baseline for the ratio. So if the threshold is set at negative 70 dB and a sound occurs below 70, so like a negative 71 dB, then your ratio is set to 2-to-1. that means it's going to bring it down one more for every decibel lower than -70 it is. So it's at -70. You've got a sound coming in that's -71. Your expander is going to bring that down to -72 because it's 2-to-1 ratio. If you have a sound that's 5 decibels below the threshold, your 2-to-1 ratio will pull it down 10 decibels below the threshold. And it's a nice gradual line that's always present and doesn't simply turn your microphone on and off. The attack is the rate at which it can react. The attack is basically reaction. It's how fast this effect will take effect. Release is how fast it releases the effect. And that's a whole nother video or series of videos. If you get a chance and you want to learn more about attack, release, sustain, hold, you can look up videos or literature on the sound envelope. Compressor, I don't think I need a compressor. Let's look up on that. Let's research that. The expander, I'm pretty happy with. I'm going to keep the expander where it's at because I could probably set that a little bit lower. I think I could set that just a little bit lower, as in higher. I could set this a little bit higher. Maybe 65, -65. Okay, I've read up on the compressor, or rather, continued watching my video. The compressor is the opposite of the expander. It's going to take loud noises and bring them down. I have no reason to believe that the 4-to-1 ratio that is already set at -20 is less than adequate. I'm sure that it's just fine, so I'm going to leave it right there. I'm not going to do anything. And I don't need to do anything with headphones, and I don't want to do anything with makeup gain, I don't think. Or do I? Do I want to do makeup gain? Oh, then there it is. You can hear that noise whenever I speak, and only when I speak. I hate that, by the way. I don't like it at all. I'd like to know why I can hear that now. Let's take another snapshot. Okay, I think it has to do with my fans were running louder. I'm going to make my fans run louder and take one more snapshot. Okay, I think that this is going to be the setting profile that I use for this microphone going forward. We'll see what that sounds like when I actually get into gameplay and the like. I look forward to using this for many, many years. As you can see, though, I had to rig it because there's just no option for me. I looked, I rummaged around, and I don't have a 5/8 cable, a 5/8 adapter to 1/4-20. I need this thing to be on my desk and not suspended by my Chinese boom arm, because this thing is not suitable for this. It doesn't have a very secure hold on it, and it's going to drop it, and the microphone's heavy enough that from that height it ought to crack this tempered glass, unless I'm just really fortunate enough to have a indestructible glass desk. Anywho, that's it for this video. I really am out of time and I've got to get going. I hope that this was enjoyable in some way, or it convinced you one way or the other to see how this microphone performed. I'm a small YouTuber. I'm fortunate enough to have a full-time job and be able to do things like save up for new pieces of equipment. This for me is going to be, hopefully, I hope, the peak for my audio. I should be able to record with Shar now, and us not have any weird problems with noise leaking in. I really just wanted to make this investment. This is not a cheap microphone by any means. This does take some saving up for if you're small time, if you don't make a lot of money off of YouTube, or if you don't make any money at all off of YouTube. But it is worth noting that the expander and noise suppression on this, in my opinion, make this really, really worth it. I mean, not those features alone. We'll see how the rest of it works. We'll see how the EQ works. We'll see if it does any sort of fluttering when I pull away from the microphone, speak quieter, things like that. And we'll see if it plays nice with Adobe, and if I can see my EQ well enough now that the EQ should be fairly balanced. I use things like claps and spikes in the EQ. I have no idea what that's going to look like in Premiere now, but I'm hoping that it's still easy to work with and easy to spot things in the interest of time. And speaking of time, I got to go. So thank you very much for watching and hanging out with me during this very simple unboxing and sort of overview, sort of review. We'll use this more as time goes on, and I really have high hopes that it's going to be better than my Yeti, and the dynamic nature of it is going to be so much better than the condenser microphones that I have been using up to this point. So really leveling up my quality here, getting into the next tier slowly but surely. I'll see you tomorrow. Have a fantastic day. Bye for now.